What's up, gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to get into the fact of if you should bring your wife back to whatever country you come from. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because recently I've been making content about the best countries to find a wife. Now, I'm not advocating whether you should get married or not, because ultimately that is up to you and you only. Now, with that said, I have some strong opinions on if you should bring a woman back to the country you are from and integrate her into your culture. So first and foremost, I want to say if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, then you are probably aware that I've mentioned several times that high quality women really do not want to relocate back to the United States or whatever country you are from. High quality women in their country, whether this is in Latin America, so Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, what may have you, or Eastern Europe, or the Philippines or Thailand, it doesn't matter. They want to stay where they are. And part of this is what makes them a great wife, because they want to be near their family and they are family oriented and family centric. So they're going to be caring, they're going to be selfless, and those are things that are going to be important to them. So they don't want to just uproot their lives and go thousands of miles away. And for the most part, most of these places have pretty decent economies, so that they don't really need to move to the United States or whatever so they can send money back home. And frankly, I would really hesitate to consider women who are in economic impoverishment to that level high quality women, because in Colombia, for example, they are likely going to be engaging in P4P activities. Same with Philippines, as well as to some extent Thailand, depending on where you are, Pattaya, Phuket. And because of this, they really don't need to be sending money back home. Some of you may notice that for the first time in a long time, it may be a couple of years ago, there were more Mexicans coming back from the United States to live in Mexico than there were Mexicans going to the United States. And that's for a variety of reasons, but the strong Mexican peso, the strong Mexican economy, the strong developmental prospects in Mexico as well all played a part in that. And so with all that said, for the most part, high quality women not gonna be too interested in leaving their country. That's just how it is. Now, if for some reason they do want to leave their country, it is my strong opinion that you should not bring them back to the United States in particular, but it also depending on where you are from, you probably don't want to bring them back there, especially if you don't want them to take on some of the characteristics of the women in your country. Because guess what? They're going to have friends in this country that are going to start instilling their beliefs into your wife. Because I strongly believe you should not be ruling her life and determining who she can and cannot be friends with and all that good stuff. So if she goes to the gym, guess what? She's going to be meeting a bunch of American women who might have more feminist beliefs than the place she comes from, or might have less traditional beliefs, or they might be women with negative thoughts towards men, and that's going to plant a seed within her. Also, not to mention, how are you going to get her back to the United States? Through legal marriage? Then there is the fact of maybe she is a green card chaser, and then she could take you for half or more of your stuff after living with you for some period of time in the United States. Now, I said this wasn't a video on my personal opinion on marriage, but I do need to state that if you are going to bring your woman back to the United States, it's most likely going to be through the marriage process. And then you are risking a whole ton of your personal assets based on the success of that marriage. And depending on who you are, how successful you are, that may or may not be a risk you are willing to take. And obviously there are prenuptial agreements, and then you need to figure out how ironclad those prenuptial agreements are, and things of that nature. But ultimately, this is why I say it boils down to you and your beliefs. So if you're willing to take those risks, or if you just don't have that much to lose, well, then obviously you should go for it and you should do whatever you want. Or if you don't have the ability to permanently live in another country, then obviously that is something else you have to factor in to this equation. But you will need to know that there are additional risks you are taking. Is this girl chasing you for a green card? Are you willing to put your assets at risk? Are you willing to take the risk that she is going to change culturally by being in a different culture? And then I'm sure there's some other risks that I'm not aware of, because I've never tried to marry a woman and bring her back to the United States. But these are just my thoughts off the top of my head if someone were to ask me. Now, this is an informed opinion because I know quite a few people who have had this exact same problem. They brought someone back to the United States and then they changed completely because of the people they were surrounded with and other factors. And I also know a guy who brought a woman back from a certain part of Eastern Europe, and after like 2 years or something like that, she got her green card and then she left him. And this guy wasn't super well off, but he is well off enough that he had to continue working even longer than he would have, because she essentially drained his retirement funds, and they even had kids together, and it was a whole mess. So frankly, I would highly not recommend doing it, but to each their own. So that's going to wrap up this video. Make sure to like this video, help me out with the algorithm. Leave your comments down below. If you've had any personal experience with that, it would be great for you to share with the community so that we can get as close to a consensus on this as possible. And I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it. Peace. Much love.